Before we started sailing to Alaska, we spent hours watching videos and reading blog posts. By the time we were done, we had a list of over 50 items, 2 check bags, and a carry-on so full it barely zipped. And here's what happened. By day 3, we had worn maybe a quarter of what we brought. The rest was all dead weight. Stuff we dragged through the airports, shoved under the bed in the cruise cabin, and hauled all the way back home without ever touching. But here's the funny part. Some of the things we almost didn't pack ended up being the most important items of the entire trip. Because packing for Alaska is not like packing for the Caribbean. You might be freezing on deck at 6 in the morning while sailing past a glacier, comfortable walking around port by lunch, and then caught in a cold rain by late afternoon. So in this video, we're going to be walking through what we actually packed for Alaska, what we actually used, and what we leave home next time, and how to stay warm, dry, and comfortable without turning your suitcase into a gear closet. So let's get into it. Welcome to Wandering Hewitts. I'm Chris. Now, the biggest myth in Alaska cruising is that you need a heavy, expedition-grade ski parka. People hear Alaska and picture themselves on a dog sled in the middle of a blizzard. But here's the reality. It's not that Alaska is always freezing. It's that the weather constantly changes. During our sailing, we had cold, misty weather at Hubbard Glacier in the morning, and later in the trip, we were walking around the port rolling up the sleeves of our hoodies. That is what makes Alaska tricky. You're not packing for one type of weather. You're packing for weather that can change multiple times in a single day. And that's the problem with a big, heavy coat. It just doesn't adapt. You put it on early in the morning, and an hour later, you're carrying it through a crowded gift shop draped over one arm. It takes up a huge chunk of space in your suitcase, and you may only wear it a few times because it really only does one thing, keeps you warm. But what you actually need in Alaska is a system that does 3 things. It needs to insulate, block wind, and repel water. That's why the better answer is not one giant coat, but layers. Now, before I get into the specific items, just a quick note. We'll leave a downloadable Alaska cruise packing list in a description below, along with a link to our Amazon store that has some of the Alaska cruise gear we're talking about in this video. Some of those are affiliate links, so if you buy through them, we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. But no pressure at all. Use what you already have when you can. The goal here is to help you pack smarter, avoid overpacking, and be ready for Alaska's constantly changing weather. So what actually works for Alaska? You need 3 pieces: a moisture wicking base layer, an insulating layer, and a waterproof shell. That's it. Now let's start with what goes against your skin, the base layer. Lightweight synthetic shirts work really well. They dry fast, don't take up much space, and they're versatile. For bottoms, athletic pants, yoga pants, hiking pants, or other quick dry options are a lot better choice than heavy cotton if you're going to be walking around in changing weather. That versatility matters because you're living out of one suitcase for a week. If you have a quarter zip or a long sleeve shirt that works on the ship, in port, under a rain jacket, and maybe even at dinner with a nicer pair of pants, that item earns its place in the suitcase. Mixing and matching a few key pieces is the secret. Use what you already have in your closet if it works. For the mid layer, skip the giant bulky sweater. Think fleece jacket, lightweight packable puffer vest, hoodie, or quarter zip. The goal is insulation without bulk. You want something warm enough to help on a cold morning, but light enough that you can stuff it in your day bag once the weather warms up. If it layers under a rain jacket and packs down easily, you're on the right track. Now let's talk about the layer I would not skip, your waterproof shell. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Bring a waterproof rain jacket with a hood. Not just something that says water resistant, but a real waterproof rain jacket. Because Southeast Alaska is wet. In Ketchikan, it rains about 150 inches per year. And in Juneau and Sitka, about 90 inches per year. And even when it's not fully raining, you can still get mist, drizzle, fog, and boat spray. If you stay dry, you can keep exploring. If you get soaked, your day gets miserable fast. And all you want to do is return to the ship for a hot shower. Now, let's talk about one of the most underrated items you could pack for Alaska: rain pants. I know nobody gets excited about rain pants, but they can absolutely save a port day. A rain jacket keeps your upper body dry, but if you're walking around in jeans or regular pants during a steady rain, your legs can still get soaked. And once jeans get wet, they become heavy, cold, uncomfortable, and they take forever to dry. Lightweight, packable rain pants solve that problem. Now you can pull them right over your base layer pants, keeping you dry. They usually have a ton of pockets and they allow you to keep going while other people are heading back to the ship early. On a rainy day in Juneau, catch a can, or on a whale watching excursion, rain pants can be the difference between enjoying the day and just trying to survive it. What about ponchos? Our take is this: treat ponchos as a backup, not your main rain gear. A cheap poncho can be useful in a pinch, but once the wind kicks up, they flap everywhere, they tear, and you spend more time fighting your clothing than enjoying the view. And as far as umbrellas, we kind of have that same outlook. They're not really useful in Alaska. The wind kicks up, they blow around. Sometimes the rain is coming kind of sideways, and they just really don't work. And one more thing before we move on. We learned this one the hard way. We thought we had a smart little hack. We took regular shoes and we sprayed them with waterproofing spray. And to be fair, it worked for a while, right up until the rain really came down. Then the spray broke down, the shoes soaked through, and our feet were wet the rest of the day. So don't do what we did. Instead, bring actual waterproof shoes or boots. So now let's talk about shoes, because this is where people massively overpack. For most people, you can get away with two main pairs. First, a comfortable waterproof walking shoe or low-top hiking shoe for port days, not giant boots. So unless you're doing serious backcountry trekking with a guide, most cruisers do not need heavy boots. A good waterproof shoe or lightweight hiking shoe is usually more than enough for the excursions most people book. They're lighter, they pack smaller, and you can actually wear them around the ship without feeling like you just came off the Appalachian Trail. Now we really like these Nordivate waterproof hiking shoes. These are really good. They've got nice firm tread on the bottom. They're waterproof and they're pretty reasonably priced and they're lightweight. So we really do enjoy these as well. Secondly, bring a casual pair for ship and dinners. Something comfortable, simple, and easy to wear. Alaskan cruises tend to have a very chill vibe and most people don't get really dressed up. And if you use the hot tub, spa, pool deck, or just like having something easy for the cabin, toss in a pair of sandals or flip-flops. Don't bring 4 or 5 pairs because you're probably not going to wear them. The key is not the exact number, but to avoid packing too many shoes out of fear. And don't forget good socks. Moisture wicking or merino wool socks are one of those things that seem small until you're walking around in wet weather for 6 hours. Regular cotton socks are fine until they get wet. And once they get wet, they stay wet. That means cold feet, blisters, and a miserable port day. On our Skagway day, we were on our feet for hours between the White Pass train, walking around town, and hiking up to Reed Falls. Having good socks makes a real difference. This is one place where we do think merino wool or moisture wicking hiking socks are worth the cost. Now, if this video is helping plan your Alaska cruise, hit that like button and subscribe. It's free. It helps support the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Now, we're also heading back to Alaska very soon, so we'll be bringing you more Alaska cruise tips, port guides, and planning videos from the trip. So keep a lookout for those in the near future. Now, beyond clothing, there were a handful of items that made a genuine difference in our Alaska cruise. These are the things you don't always think about until you need them. Bring a hat and gloves, even if you're sailing in the summer, especially for glacier viewing days. These touchscreen gloves are great because you could still use them with your phone to take photos and videos without exposing your fingers to the very cold elements every few seconds. Hand warmers are another great option right here. They're disposable, or you could get these rechargeable ones, and they both work great. On a cold glacier morning, having one in each pocket can be the difference between staying outside for a couple of hours and giving up after a couple of minutes. Next up is a great pair of binoculars. If you're cruising Alaska, bring binoculars. You're going to spend time on deck, in lounges, on your balcony, or walking around the port scanning for wildlife. Whales, eagles, sea otters, and other wildlife can show up at any time, but a lot of those moments just happen far enough away that your phone camera won't do them justice. When someone points and says, "There's a whale," you don't want to be standing there squinting at the water while everyone else is actually seeing it. And if there's 2 of you, having 2 pairs of binoculars is even better because wildlife doesn't wait while you pass 1 pair back and forth. Next up is a packable day waterproof backpack, which was another item that mattered way more than we expected. You need somewhere to put all the layers you take off as the day warms up. You need room for water, snacks, rain gear, souvenirs, gloves, hand warmers, and maybe even a portable phone charger. This lightweight backpack packs down small, and it's perfect because it doesn't take up much space in your luggage, but it does help you stay ready for whatever Alaska presents to you. Okay, let's talk about power. Cruisers seriously underestimate how much battery they'll burn on a port day. A small battery charger is one of those items you may not think about until your phone is at 12% and you still have half the day left. Now, we really love these little portable battery chargers. These things are strong and powerful, and you can even plug them into the bottom of your phone and still use your phone walking about, taking photos, and so on while it's charging your phone. These things are a must, and we have a couple of them around, and we use these all the time. And don't forget insect repellent. A lot of people don't think about mosquitoes on an Alaska cruise, but they can be absolutely an issue near tree lines, hiking trails, lakes, and certain excursions. You may not need it every day, but if the bugs show up, you'll be glad you packed it. You can get these little small containers like this that are small. You can bring them with you on the airplane, and they're very effective. So pick one of these up before you leave. Okay, so now pro tip. When we go to Alaska, and actually for all of our cruises, we always bring a couple of Ziploc baggies. This one's a gallon baggie. And these are great because, especially in Alaska, when things get wet, you know, if something gets wet, you can put it in this bag and keep it separated. But also, you can keep things in here that you don't want to get wet. So always throw a few of these in your bag. They take up no room, and we just love them. Now, not everything you pack for Alaska is about being outside. There are a few cruise-specific things worth thinking about, too. First, packing cubes or compression packing cubes. Alaska clothes are bulkier than Caribbean clothes, so packing cubes help keep everything organized. Compression cubes can also help if you're bringing fleece jackets or extra layers. Second, bring a cruise-approved USB charging block or charging hub. Always check your cruise line's current rules before packing any power item and avoid surge-protected power strips. We really like one like this. This has one outlet that you plug in, but on the backside you've got 2 USB-CAs and 3 USB-Cs. So this actually extends out quite a bit, and this one we really love. Third, bring a sleep mask. This is one people forget. In Alaska, especially during the middle of summer, daylight can last a very long time. It may still be light late into the night and bright very early in the morning. If your body clock is already off from travel and time changes, a sleep mask can make a big difference. All right, this is the section I wish someone would have made us watch before our first Alaska cruise. Here's what we packed and either barely used or would not bring again. First, the heavy ski parka. For most summer Alaska cruises, skip it. Layers work better. Second, heavy hiking boots. Waterproof, low-top hiking shoes or waterproof walking shoes is usually all you need. Third, too many jeans. I know, everybody loves jeans, and you could bring a pair for dinner or casual ship time if you want, but jeans are not great for wet port days. Fourth, too many shoes. You probably don't need 4 or 5 pairs. Waterproof shoes for port, casual shoes for the ship. Maybe a lightweight pair of sandals or flip-flops if you're actually going to use them. Every item should earn its spot. Can it layer? Can it dry fast? Can you wear it more than once? Does it mix and match well with other pieces? Can it work in more than one situation? If the answer is yes, it belongs. If not, it may be dead weight. Now we want to hear from you. If you've cruised Alaska before, what is the one thing you were really glad you packed? Or what is the one thing you wish you would have left at home? Did we forget anything? Drop it down in the comments because it really does help other people planning their first Alaska cruise. And we really do love talking to everybody, and we do try to answer everybody's questions. Now, if you're still in the planning phase, check out our other Alaska cruise videos next, where we cover itineraries, excursions, and the mistakes we've made so you don't have to. But thanks for watching and happy cruising.